Hi, this is Gary with GEEZBEEZ. It's February the 1st and it's about 70 degrees out today. It's a beautiful day here in central Oklahoma. Looks like winter's going to come back at us again pretty quick, so we're going to get out today, check on the bees, stores, kind of just check on them generally because we had some -2-degree weather a couple weeks ago, I guess, and we kind of want to check on them today. And I'm going to light the smoker up and I'll show you how I do that. Got plenty of leaves that have fallen, and I use these leaves pretty much all year. That's about all I ever use. But I do use barbecue pellets, and so I'll start out with just a little bit of cardboard, and I'll light my cardboard and get it going. Let it kind of get going in there, and I'll just get a handful or two of leaves and I'll put them in there. A little bit of more leaves in there. We're going to pack this pretty good because we're going to be going for quite a while today. So if you're just going a little while, if you get a couple of handful of leaves, it'll probably do you for, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. But I'll layer this. I'll put about some more of those in, get that going real good. Get it going until you kind of see the fire start bellowing out, and put you another layer of leaves or whatever you got handy. If you got pine needles, leaves, some people use burlap. I just use whatever I've got around. The price is right. Pour another layer in there. Fill it up the rest of the way with leaves. You want to put your leaves or your pine needles on last because you don't want any sparks coming out of there onto your bees. So give something that'll kind of slow that down, kind of filter through these leaves. Good thing is when you're out and you notice you're kind of running low on smoke, you can always take your top back off, put you some more leaves on there, and keep going. And we're ready to go. In the South bee yard, I haven't been in these bees since October the 1st, so we'll see what we've got going on. I'm sure we've got a few dead outs. We usually have about 10% dead outs every year. It's been as high as 30, but the last 2 years I've had 10. I've been happy with that. I've been using, for a couple of years, which I will attribute some to this, I've been using this Hive Alive fondant, which they can take right away. They don't have any problems taking it, and they don't have to invert it like they do sugar, so they take this right down, and it's got plenty of benefits. It's got some vitamins and things in it that really does help them. It seems like they do really good. Kind of helps with a little bit build up, plus, you know, an insurance policy, because we'll have some colder weather coming up. They'll start building up a little bit on this, and then I'll start some pollen patties probably, depends on the weather, 1st of March, somewhere in there, and we'll get them built up for spring splits coming up. So that's kind of what we're doing today, assessing the stores and using this Hive Alive fondant. I got this fondant from Hillco Bees, John at Hillco Bees. They do have a pretty good price on these. They're really good. The free shipping over $100. I think it's over $100. And so ends up pretty nice. These are about $6 a piece, I think. And usually just one does me. I usually have enough stores to kind of get through, but this kind of helps them. And that's the packet of the fondant. It's kind of soft. And I'll just take and open this up. In fact, I didn't bring a knife, but I'll use those scissors. I'll make it work. But I'll just cut a slot in that, put them down, and they'll get up there and eat that fondant out of there. And then when they're all done, you'll just take it out. But there's a list of what all it has in it. And I also use the liquid Hive Alive when I feed in my jars, which I leave on year round and haven't had any problem doing that. So we'll be feeding that when it warms up. When it gets, you know, really warm and the nights are like in the 50s, I'll start feeding the sugar feed to them, and the fondant will probably be done by then. I'm gonna get my suit on. Okay, all suited up. I'm gonna get in these hives, check some stores. I built these sugar cake feeders. I've got a video on that, real simple to make. I kind of like them, and I'll show you why I like making the sugar cake feeders. You can just do the camp method. You can, you know, there's all kinds of different ways. You can just put your sugar on a newspaper or whatever. They have moved up, and they are out of feed. They've gone through 10 pounds of sugar. Wow, that's really surprising. Because last year they only went through about 8. So, and it looks like they're up in, all the way up in here. It looks like we can check them a little bit today. We can pull one out and see if they've got any honey left, but they have gone through that sugar. A lot of times they will move up and get the sugar first. But it looks like they might have some. Let's just pull one frame and see what we've got here. Yeah, they do have some honey left. There's probably, well, the next frame's empty. At least this frame's got some. It looks like the two this way are empty. Looks like this has one. So they've got about 3 frames. I've got a little bit left. So usually you'll have sugar packed in here. They had 10 pounds of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and put these patties in, and we've cut a place for them. And if you cut them a little wider like that, my wife actually did that. I'm usually not that good with it, but if you'll cut those a little wider like that, when they get up in there, it's kind of easier to get them out. Once you try to get them out, they like to hang out in there if you want to take them off when they're empty. So we'll put that on there for them. We did the front of the package because it's pretty hard to see them. The back, when they're up in there, you'll be able to see them a lot easier if you'll leave that little strip there and use the front. So they'll get on that. We'll kind of watch them. That fondant can go pretty fast. You know, usually 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll go and check them in 2 or 3 weeks, and we may have to throw some more fondant on. I do have some sugar bricks left. I could put some sugar bricks on them, and I may bring them back up on the ones that need it. So I'll kick a brick up on this one to tell me that they are a little low on stores. They did have a couple of, I left this honey super on here. It wasn't a full super, so I didn't take it. And they could have some in here too, so I'll check on them. But right now, we've got some cold weather predicted to come in, and I'm gonna go ahead and put fondant on everybody. So I'm gonna check this one out. I'm not seeing any activity coming out of this one. This was a paper combine that I did really late in the season. And it was a couple of pretty hives that had lost their queen. They weren't doing real well. I went ahead and got a queen established in there with them. I just combined both of these, and we'll see what's going on, but I don't see any activity going on. Yeah, it's a dead out. You can see that they don't have any sugar here, or they haven't taken their sugar, and so whether the queen wasn't viable or something happened, we don't know. But those things happen. That's kind of the way it is. We can look down in here just to make sure there's nothing going on, but I don't believe there is. Yeah, they're a dead out. So they did not move up. They either didn't move up to their sugar, or they just didn't have a queen. Something was going on. You could tell they were pretty small. So when they died out. So we'll do some splits early spring, reuse some of this. We'll come up and take these in to protect the comb a little bit, and we'll go to the next one. I went ahead and took the sugar out of this one, moved over to the one that didn't have the sugar, put the fondant back on. So we'll take that and put it back up. We'll check on this next one. It does have activity. So we'll check them out and see how they're doing. They have not even touched that sugar. So they obviously had a good, and this was a deep, so they probably had really good stores, this double deeps. And so it looks like they're doing okay. They have moved up. They are on this sugar. If you can see, they've been eating that sugar. There's nothing right here. I could chip some of that away there. You can see they have definitely started on that. And I can pull that out if you want to get an underside shot of this. Let me pull it off real quick. And there they are, consuming some of that sugar. So we'll put them on a fondant. They'll be set to go. We'll travel to the other yard and see what we've got going in the main yard. Okay, we're in the main production yard. This row's pretty well what I had in production last year. There's a couple of, I did some splits. I did, I guess, 4 splits. You can see the singles, or most of those are splits. And then all these single row back there, I did splits on last year too. So we're gonna check on those. And some of them went in the winter, you know, pretty small. Some of them built up real well. We'll just have to see how it went. We'll just do the same with them. Check them real quick. See what they've got. They still have sugar. They have been eating the sugar, as you can tell. It's pretty thin in places. We'll just take this Hive Alive, and we'll just hit it with the hive tool a couple of places and kind of work it back a little. And we'll put it in there for them, and we'll head on to the next. Okay, they still have a lot of bees in here. And they have been working that sugar. I'm going to go ahead and give them some fondant. They've been working this sugar pretty hard on this one. A lot of bees in here. I was going to brag on how good they've been, so I haven't been having to smoke these too much, but these are a little rambunctious. They're in there. They're popping through their sugar right there. And that's a good thing about these sugar feeders that I like, is that they pretty well stay contained, and you can stick your fondant and your pollen patties or whatever on the other side. So that's why I made two sides. I put a board in the middle to divide them and to make two areas. So it makes it a little easier when you want to feed and check on them in the winter if you don't want to be in them very long. Today's a pretty nice day, but you know, if it was colder and I was doing this, you wouldn't have as much problem. In fact, I probably shouldn't even lit my smoker today, but you just never know. Okay, they have really gone through their stores. So I'm going to move that other sugar cake down here. We have had a super mild winter. You know, it's been really 40s, 50s, 60s, and then it's been down to -2, and it's just been really up and down with our weather this year. And so when they get out and fly a lot, which they have been, then they use a lot of energy, and so they really hit that sugar hard. And so that's why they've used almost 10 pounds of sugar already. I'm just going to dump the rest of this on there. And there's a lot of bees on this row too. I mean, there's a lot of population going in the winter on this row, especially except for these splits I did. They really hit theirs pretty hard too. They're down to about 1, 2, 3, 4, down to about 4 frames, 3, 4 frames. So, and we'll check these next time, see kind of how they've done after they've used up this fondant, but my experience is they will grow in numbers on this fondant, and then, you know, they'll get some better, warmer weather coming on after this cold snap. Hopefully there'll be some things for them to eat coming up quickly. And they're about the same. They've hit quite a bit of that. This is pretty well all empty right here. You can see I just barely hit it and it'll crack, so there's not a lot left there. Oh yeah, this feels like tight. And they've got a little bit left, a little more than that other one. It's pretty hollow right here. So they tend to get on the middle frames, ball up, get on the middle frames, and they'll eat this part out. So you really got to watch, because a lot of times they will not move out into this area. So if you know, it's a good deal to either put fondant on or put some more sugar in that middle area. You can lose a lot of bees, especially come, you know, very first part of spring, coming in the spring, maybe March. That's where you really have to watch your stores. Because if you just pop it and you see sugar and you're thinking, oh, that's good, well, not always. You got to make sure they've got it in this middle part right here, because that's where they like to eat. And when it's really cold, they're not moving. Oh, they've really run through theirs, haven't they? Well, they haven't hit theirs too bad. Seems like these double deeps had a lot better stores, you know, than a lot of these are. These were mediums here. These were deeps. Those were mediums. So seems like the double deeps had better stores going in the winter, and they haven't hit theirs quite as much. But they are getting on a little now. You can see some places. See, they're eating this out in the middle right here. So try to cut a little piece to put over that. So this row was all splits done pretty late in the year, September area. I think I did a video about it. I don't like doing late splits, but sometimes they just get so many bees in some of these that they just, and I ran these singles and I actually took honey off most of these last year. And so we'll see how they're all seem to be doing really well. I'm real happy about that. I ordered these queens. I'm trying to think where I ordered these queens from. I did a video about it, I can't really remember, but anyway, we ordered new queens last year for all this row, and so we're gonna keep going. I have to get another box of these out. These come 15 to a box, and you can order them single if you want, but get a better deal when you order more. Okay, these guys are really down to about maybe one, maybe two. They're pretty small. They have been taking this, so we'll see how it goes. We'll go ahead and leave some fondant on here, and maybe they can get built back up. I really don't want to check for queens today, so we'll see how it goes. You can definitely tell this is a split row because they're a lot smaller, but they have made it. I did put insulated lids. Oops, I did put insulated lids on most of these, the smaller ones. They've really been working theirs, and they've moved over to this side. They're all pretty well on this side. They have done a number on that, boy. They haven't touched this too much. Right in here they have. You can see it's kind of right there. They haven't touched it too much. They haven't hit too much either. They're small. They're so small though. If we can get them through another month and a half, they'll be doing well. They'll really get their numbers up quick. Those new queens made it through the winter. They normally do really well in getting their numbers up quick in spring. So. And they have come up to get theirs. They are working it. It's a double deep, so they probably had plenty of stores. They haven't touched these much. They are on there now, so. Okay, this is in my west yard, and mainly all I do in this west yard, I've got some 8 frames and some queen castles, and I just raised queens. I raised 13 queens here last year. I want to raise some more this year. I'm getting a little better every year at raising queens, and this year I'd like to raise, 20 or 30 queens. It's a little hard in Oklahoma when the wind blows so hard, and I did them pretty late in the year, so I didn't have a great take on them. But anyway, so we use these queen castles, and then we use these 8 framers. I'll use them for starters. They are out of sugar completely, so I'll have to get them some more sugar. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, about 4 frames. So it's good we checked on them. We'll put the fondant on them and put them back together. So we'll put the sugar I've got on them. I'm gonna put some fondant on them, and we'll definitely use them to raise some queens come springtime. All right, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching, and we'll keep you updated on how they did on this fondant and go through the cold weather and see how we did. I appreciate it. Thank you.